All right. Hopefully we got our technical problems solved. We've got MSU President Janine Davidson back on the line. Okay, try two here. You were just talking about instability of the world in terms of what's happening in Ukraine. I wanted to talk about the significance of the Serbia and Hungary elections, where they've kept leaders who either haven't condemned Putin or are pro-Putin. What is the significance of this?
Sure. Well, people have been watching these sorts of countries for a while. There's an overall rise in populism happening across a lot of countries. Hungary, Serbia in particular. People are also looking at France. These countries, they're in a tough spot in some ways. I mean, from a populist perspective, and maybe even personally, they may be aligned with Vladimir Putin. But, at the end of the day, these elections that are happening in these places are really about internal things. Anti-immigration, culture wars, if you will. In Hungary, there's a lot of anti-LGBTQ sentiment that Orban plays off of. But geostrategically, they are really reliant on Russia for a lot of their energy. And so that puts them in this conundrum. Hungary in particular, because they're a member of NATO and EU. Serbia, not so much. They're not a member of NATO. They've tried to become a member of EU. But they're trying to play this, how do you keep your energy flowing, oil and gas from Russia, and also not align with one side or the other. But they both are very close to Vladimir Putin. They use his playbook, if you will, for authoritarian government. And so I don't know that it's going to flip the tide one way or the other in the conflict, but it's something to watch out for people who care about democracy in the world.
My last question for you is, one thing we keep hearing about is these calls to investigate war crimes of what's happening in Ukraine. But this is an active war. So when would we actually see any concrete steps or potential consequences?
Sure. War crimes are, first of all, what's happening in Ukraine is absolutely horrific. And the misinformation that's coming out about it is very troubling. Prosecuting war crimes is not a very easy thing to the International Criminal Court, which is out there now, trying to collect evidence, in case they can try somebody. But the thing that happens is you have to bring these people into the courtroom. And seeing also Ukraine, their head prosecutor has issued like 5,600, cases of war crimes against Russia. And so they're out there trying to collect the evidence right now while it's in place, so that if there is an opportunity to do it, maybe after the conflict, then they'll be able to do that. But the chances of seeing somebody like Vladimir Putin in a courtroom under, ICC or anybody else is pretty slim, because of the basics of logistics of how are you going to arrest him. And you can issue an arrest warrant, but this is when you got to see who's going to win the war.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much for that perspective. I'm glad we were able to get you back online.
Yeah.
We'll be checking back in with you, I'm sure, in the coming weeks as well. We'll be right back.
Sure. Have a great day.